I'll record it. We'll post it on the Facebook groups. I know that my market center, like I said, there was a conflict because I forgot about Labor Day. So it's usually on Mondays, the training. We moved it to Tuesday. It so happens today is also the ALC meeting here. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. So it's good stuff, but we're going to go. Today's lesson was going to be around landing pages and creating custom pages. So I've been getting a lot of questions on how do you spruce up your website? How do you make it better or change it or customize it? And in reality, there's not a whole lot that we can do, but what we can do is create some custom pages. And it takes a little bit of coding, not like rocket science coding, but it does take a little bit of coding to do some of these pages if you're going to customize them. So I'll share with you guys today just code so that you could create your own Keller mortgage landing like custom page on your website, and I'll show you what that looks like on mine. And if you don't like that one, you could always change it and do something different. Then I'll show you how you could take a link like a web page, generate what we call iframe code, and then use that to create a custom page as well. So I'll show you a couple of examples of what I've done, and then if you guys want to, we go into landing pages and how to create a single property website per se. And we'll go from there. If you guys have questions, please stop me because I get into a rant and I start going, and it's just how it happens. So if you guys have something you guys want me to cover, or what's up, David?
I already have a question.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to be going over at all like a landing page for to generate for sellers? So it'd be like a valuation page.
Okay. Yeah, I could definitely go over that. I know Costa Mesa does. When I was out there, we covered it. You guys have Cloud CMA also, David?
You have to pay for it. We use RPR.
Okay, you guys are RPR. Okay, so I'm going to show you two different ways to create a CMA page. If you have Cloud CMA, then I'll show you how to take that one link, generate iframe code, and then you can embed Cloud CMA into your website, which is super easy. And then I'll show you how to create a form through like Google Forms or 123 Form Builder, and then you could embed that form into the website to generate and pick up. I like to do it that way because I like to customize the form. The form that is like pre-built in command is like very wonky and I don't like it. So I create my own forms and then I embed them to the website. So we'll go over that. And then if you guys kind of get lost, stop me. We have an hour and a half and I'll be more than happy to go back and like show you guys what I'm doing. All right. And it is being recorded. I'll share it with everybody here and on the Facebook pages so that you guys can go back and kind of see what I'm doing. All right. So I'm going to start with doing a Keller mortgage page. A lot of people are asking, like, how can I embed widgets in there and stuff like that? So we're going to start there. And first of all, let me start by sharing my screen. That might help. All right, I think that's the one. Okay, you guys should be seeing like my design templates right now. You guys see that? So the way we're going to start is if you're logged into command, and if you're not seeing my command page, raise your hand, yell at me, and I'll slow down and let you guys go back. And I'll make sure that I got the right screen up. But once you log into command, we're going to be working on the consumer applet today. The consumer applet, you're going to go in there and then we're going to create what we call a custom page or a custom landing page. There's two different ways to do it, right? A custom page is a page that lives on your website. A landing page is a standalone page that you could share a link or add that link to some kind of advertisement where people will go and fill it out. So like David asked something about CMA earlier. So there's two ways, right? We could create a landing page where people go and fill out the information so that they could get a CMA, or you could have a live form on your website. So I'm going to show you my website and just kind of see some of the different pages I have on there. And then we're going to go over some of those and how I created them. All right. All right, so if you guys would notice, I have like, I don't know, maybe 10 pages here, a little bit more than 10 pages here. These are all pages that I've either done or added or did something. I was messing around with some of the widgets there and I created some pages. So like if you see the buyers tab here, I did that by simply taking the the company profile widget and I changed it around, right? So I put a little picture in the background. I changed this to squares, you know, and just put a little bit of information for buyers, right? And on the footer area, I actually put a little message here. So it's just a matter of how you use the widgets and how you change them around, right? So this is just some of the stuff. But the ones that we're going to talk about are the ones that you're going to have to do a little bit of work with. And the ones that I'm talking about is like this Keller Morgan page, right? So like this page, I took one of the widgets and in one of the boxes, I was able to put this code in and it just developed this whole page for me. It has a mortgage calculator built in. It has information about Keller covered here. And then it has the apply button. So when they click on that apply button, it actually goes to my Keller Mortgage landing page. So they get pre-approved under my KWU ID. All right, so it's like your referral thing, like so they know who referred the person. And the way I did that is that there's some code that you're gonna put in there. So the first thing that I did was under your consumer applet, on the upper right corner, right underneath your name, there's this button. It says create a new site. I don't know why it says create a new site, because you're not creating a new site per se. You're just creating either a page or a landing page. But you're gonna click on that and it's gonna ask you, do you want this page on your website or do you want this page to be standalone? So the ones on your site are the ones that are gonna be on that tree. Those are the ones that you're gonna be able to, your consumers are gonna go to your website while they're searching property, they can actually go and then they're gonna be able to click on those. The standalone ones are the landing pages. Those are the ones that we do for like single property websites. So like people are like, can I create a single property website? Yeah, you can. Create a standalone landing page, and then I'll show you that widget real quick. The widget's actually real slick. It's easy to use. You'll be done in less than 5 minutes. So let's do this one first. So we're gonna do it on our site, and we're gonna do a Keller Mortgage page. So once I click on my site, I'm gonna create a page. And then what I'm gonna choose is the company profile one. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna drop it over here. Now, because this page is on my website, I don't need to put a header on. I don't need to put a footer either. Those are automatic on all your website pages, okay? So the only thing we're gonna drop in here is the widget that we're gonna utilize, okay? And just for my own sanity, I always rename my stuff. So like up here where it says like new agent site, I always rename it. I'm gonna say Keller Mortgage. And because I already have it, I'm gonna say Keller Mortgage class so that I don't mess myself up later. All right, so that's it. I renamed it. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna edit this widget. And you guys are gonna be like bonkers when you guys see what happens, right? So we're gonna say configure the widget. And the first thing I'm gonna do is the company profile one, and here it is. In the heading, I'm just gonna put a space in there. I don't want anything, well actually, it's up to you guys what you want to put in here. So like, what do you want it to say, right? You can say pre-approved today, pre-approved right now. If you put a space, you can put nothing, which means that in the middle where it says about Royal Realtors, there's not going to be anything there. So I'm just going to put Keller Mortgage on here. This background picture, if you have a cool picture you want to put on there, you can replace it. I replaced some of them I didn't. It's really totally up to you guys. And then in this intro text right here, you see this stuff right here? This is your best friend box. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, just right there. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. Okay, so here we go. In the section 1 area is where we're going to put the information that we need. So I put no heading, section 1, and then I have this code, and I'll share this code with you guys. The stuff that's in red, when you guys get the copy of this code, is where you're going to put your personalized link for Keller Mortgage. All right, so when you guys get the copy of the file, you're going to see some stuff in red. The link in red is where you're going to put your link. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take all this gibberish code that I have on here on the side. I'm gonna Control A and paste it all on here. And I'm gonna drag this just to kind of see. So like there's a lot of stuff going on here. So all this code is really what you're gonna paste in there. And you're gonna see how this stuff just works. I'm gonna go down here and delete this picture. No heading there, nothing on here either. Delete that. I don't want no footer, and I don't want any of this junk either. So there we go. I'm gonna say save and apply. And that's it, folks. That's it. Now you have your own personalized Keller Mortgage page with your own link to your own button and everything on there, and that's what you're gonna have on your page. So we took a widget, we kind of, you know, messed around with some of the boxes, and we made it do what we wanted to do. There's another way to do it too. So if you're doing a landing page or you don't want to use a widget, you could do some other stuff too with it, with the code. This is the easiest way because it has a pre-built header. So you don't have to like mess around with the header or anything like that. So it's already done for you. This is it. There's no more like magic. So like that's the most of the coding you would have to do. All the information is down here. And we'll take that on. I actually put extra code in there. There's some notes on the bottom on here. When you guys get this, don't copy the notes. It's basically walking you step by step on what to do. It tells you, you know, what to do in each section when you're filling in the thing. So that's in the very bottom. I left it in there. I forgot to take it out. But that's it. That's all you guys got to do. And then all you do is click Save Changes. And then you could go ahead and build and actually apply that page to your website. So once you save it, it is right here. And it's not going to be live. So this little eyeball here will not be lit up until you actually add it to your website. All right. So just like that, less than 5 minutes, we created a Keller Mortgage landing page customized to you with a built-in calculator. And then in order to add it to my website, there's this right next to the create a new site on the left of it, there's a site and app settings. And you'll click on that. And then once that menu loads up, you'll see that on the top toolbar right here where it says general URLs, feature listings. If you go all the way to the right, it says site pages. And here is where you'll be able to add that page simply by clicking add page, clicking the template you created and all that information. So you'll click add a page, you pick which one. So I could say that one, and then it'll allow me to say like name the page and then give it a slug. The slug is what is after the / in a website, okay? Where can I pull the code? I'm gonna send you, I'll add it to this in the chat in a minute here. I'll add this file actually. So let me do that. Where's my file? I'll add it in here so you guys could download it and then you could keep it. Let's go here. Let me add a file. Where is it at? There it is. All right, I might have to email it. It's not allowing me to upload it in here. It doesn't like the file. It might be too big. So I'll send it to you guys via email. And then I'll also post it in the Facebook pages on the documents so you guys can get it from there. So that's where you'll get the code. All right. All right, so now how do you go ahead and create, let's say, a CMA page, right? So there's two different ways. If you guys have the luxury of having Cloud CMA as part of your MLS, you guys will simply log into your MLS, and I'll just kind of show you what you're going to do. And you're going to go ahead and go into Cloud CMA. And obviously mine looks a little bit different because, you know, our MLSs are different, obviously. But Cloud CMA is basically the same for everybody. Once you're in Cloud CMA, it looks the same. On the upper right corner is a little picture dot. Maybe your face or something there. And if you click on it, if you go to where it says lead generation, it's going to give you this built-in landing page, right? And what I did is that I take this copy link thing right here, because it has to be iframe for whatever reason. If you don't do iframe, it doesn't work right. I have no idea why, but it's the way it is. So I go to this iframe generator. You can see I use it a lot, right? It just pops up. And it's iframe dash generator. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on it, and then I'll put the link in here. Here's the link to the iframe generator. Put it in your favorites and bookmark it. And all I'm gonna do when I copy this link from Cloud CMA is I'm gonna paste it right here, and it's gonna generate this code for me. And when I take that code and I copy it, I will simply go into let's go to here. We're gonna go back to like what we did the other one, right? So I'm gonna go to create a new site. And in this case, I'm gonna say, let's say we're gonna put it on our website again, right? We're gonna say on agent site. And then we're gonna do the same thing. So it's gonna be a company profile. And you guys see that it's like a routine. Once you get going, it's gonna be the same thing. I'm gonna go ahead and configure my widget. You know, I'm gonna say, go, nothing in the intro, nothing there. There's my iframe code that I just posted in there. I'm gonna delete that picture. I'm gonna take this text out. So basically I'm deleting everything that's already in here because I don't want any of it in here. So it basically put my Cloud CMA page in here. Just like that. So you take that code and you put it in that box, and then it does everything for you. Now, where you do have to do some work is if you want to create a standalone page. Those are a little bit neater to use because then you're not constricted to the widgets. And what I do is that I'll do the same thing, right? So I'm gonna get out of this page. I'm not saving it. Let's say I want to create a landing page for CMAs. I don't want to necessarily create a one on my web page. I just want to have one where I'm going to put it on mailers or whatever and then get people to go there. So I'm going to do a standalone page, create a page. And on this one, because it is a standalone page, you do have to have branding, okay? So the first thing you do is you're going to get a header. And then the next thing I'm going to do is under content blocks down here, I'm going to use this text thing and I'm going to put it in there. And if I fill in the code, you see how the code's in there? If I double click the code, magic happens. So the code goes in there, and I do have to do some work to make sure it's centered and stuff like that. But let's say you didn't like that. You see the page for Cloud CMA is much bigger than that, right? So I could go to the iframe generator and say, well, I want the width, 600. It's okay, that's fine. But maybe I want it to be longer. So maybe I'll do 800 on the height. So how tall it is, right? Because you got to remember, we're embedding a web page from a different site into our page. So we have to kind of make sure it fits into that box. So I'm going to mess with the height. All right. Then I'm going to say generate again. So it's my new code. And then I'll simply just go back to my website. And I'll do this a couple of times until I'm happy with it. So I'm going to delete that one. I'm going to say, okay, let's do it again. So it's a little bit better. It's still not quite what I want. I actually don't like how narrow that is. So then what I'll do is I'll go in here and then I'll make it wider. So and you'll have to play around with that until you're happy with the look of that page. Okay. My recommendation to you guys, and I have them written down somewhere, but they're in my well-organized computer here. What I would say is once you find a good height and width for these widgets, for these iframe widgets, write them down so that when you create a new one, you kind of start with that template. Like you already know that's like 800 by 1600 or whatever that would be, right? because every single one's a little bit different. So like one of the ones that you'll see on my website is that I have a Keller covered. So if you guys signed up to get that free landing page from Keller covered, I actually embedded it in the website. So if you go into the website, here's Keller covered, and this is their web page. So I embedded it in here, but if you look at it, this page is actually long. So I actually had to play quite a bit with it until I got all of the information in here that I wanted, you know, on the website. So I could make sure that I had all the information from that landing page. So it took me a minute to go back and forth. So basically, I have people that are embedding credit thing. Like if you have a business partner that does credit checks or helps you repair credit, I have a couple of people that work with those people. They're embedding those sites here, so there are people who go in there and start working with somebody to fix their credit. So I'm not sure how that is in Costa Mesa or in NWI, but here in Chicago, we use quite a bit of those. So we have people that have partnered up with a couple of credit repair companies, and they have their own like landing sites. So we're embedding them into the website. Any questions so far? So I feel like I'm going super fast. You guys good? All right. If I'm going fast or you're getting stuck, let me know. Okay, so let's go back here. Now, David said, what if you don't have Cloud CMA? How do you create a form so that your people could go in there and are able to request a CMA, right? So I use this website. It's called 123 Form Builder, I think it's called. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so, and then it's free unless you want like no branding on the bottom, which I don't care. It could say on the bottom, it could say 123 Forms. I don't care. Let me see. There we go. Oh, that's because it's not my email. Duh. Well, now demo. There you go. Third time's a charm. Okay. So in here, what I do is I could create forms, any form I want. And what I like is that it has a couple of templates if you want to like do something particularly like a customer survey or whatever. So it just depends on like what do you want to have on that form and how do you want it to look, right? So I always start with a blank form. And then what you could do is you could add a logo or whatever you want to the form. And I'm gonna just do a quick one just so you guys kind of see how it works. So like you see all the tools right here to the left. This platform is super easy to use, super friendly. And like I said, unless you want specific non-branded stuff, then that's when you have to pay. But if you don't care if it says 123 Forms on the bottom, it's free. So I don't care that it says 123 Forms on the bottom. Same thing with Google. You could the same process with Google if you want to use Google Forms. So let's see here. Oh, well, duh, right? So we're going to use name. Then we're going to say phone number. Well, we actually need the address because if they're going to get a CMA, we need their address. Right? So we need the full address. Hopefully they'll give us their phone number. And then we do need the email for them so that we could send them their CMA. And like any form builder that you will ever work with, you could require any field. So like, for example, if they want a CMA, we actually need this stuff. So like we need to have their, so like I'm telling them like there's certain fields here that I need. Like I must have your address if you want me to give you a CMA. If not, I can't. I also need their name. That has to be required because if it's not a required field, how would I know who I'm sending the thing to? And then at least the email has to be required. The phone number, not necessarily unless you want to. And then the CAPTCHA, you could pick whatever you want. I usually tend to go with our CAPTCHA because it's easier. and it's widely known by people. So I'll do that. And then I'm gonna name this, I'm gonna call it tests CMA, and I might save it. Okay, let's say that this is the form, right? We're good. Form is good to go. I'm gonna publish my form, and then I'm gonna go to embed. And they already have an IFrame code for you. It's already in here. So it's pretty cool. I'm gonna copy that code that's in there, just like that. And then I'm gonna go back to my website. I'm gonna use this that I was working on. And what I'm gonna do is exactly what I did before, right? So like I could put an image in here if I want to. So if I wanted to put a header image, I could. Let's see what we could bring up. Oh, here, let's do a Labor Day picture, just to have a picture in there. Okay. No, that's too big. Let's not do that. Forget it. Text, boom. So here's my form. You see the scroll bar? That means that it's not tall enough. If you have to scroll, your iframe box is not tall enough. So what I do is that I'm gonna go ahead and go in here and I'm gonna cheat, right? So like you guys gotta find yourselves, it's like to work smarter, not harder, right? I'm not gonna keep going back and forth to the developer, you know, about the form size. I know the problem is the height, and the height is 300, right? So I probably need it to be more like 800. And if I double click on it, I get my new form. I mean, it's still a little short, you know, not much, but it is. So I might say like, okay, well, and this is how easy it is. I mean, I'm just basically just going back and forth until I like what I'm doing here. And I'm gonna say, well, if 800 didn't work, I might try 1100. And now that might be too tall, but at least I know that's gonna work. So here I am. Here's my form. It's embedded. And then whatever email address you use to create the 123 form builder account, that's the one that's gonna get the emails when this form is filled out. And you create forms for anything, surveys, CMAs, referral forms, whatever you want, right? And they're free. So you go to town. So like, yes, if you want to create your own specific CMA form, you can. It's right here. It's easy to do, not very hard. Any questions?
No, that's great.
Anything you guys particularly want to see that you're like, can I do that too? Because, you know, I'm showing you how to do forms and how to do that. Anything in particular you guys want to know, can I do that on the website?
I think this is great. I'm just like, wow, and so quick, how quick that you did that. I'm like taking notes and pictures, and I'm going to watch it again, but that was really cool, wasn't it, guys? Seriously.
I'm glad
It was.
you know, I guess I get a lot of questions about this particular stuff. So I figured if I give you guys a class on how to do it, and then you guys could rewind and relook at it. But I mean, if you just get a little piece of code, you could do anything you want. Obviously there's some restrictions, right? But as long as you kind of follow the rules, you're good to go. The one, if you want to put on your website, if you want to put that form on your website, you do the same thing, except that instead of a standalone page, you're going to save one on your site. I kind of like those better because if you use the widget for like the company profile, it has a header for you already and everything. And you technically could do that here too. So if you wanted to, you could take some of these other widgets and kind of be like, okay, I'm going to use that one. I tend to like, if I'm going to do a standalone page, it's because I'm doing something specific. So I'm either going to be driving traffic because I want somebody to apply for a position at work or at my team or something like that. Other than that, it will go on my website. So or the only other time that I would do a widget, like a standalone page, would be for a single property website. So people always ask like, well, my customer wants a single property website, and we don't have those. Well, we don't call them that. We call them landing pages. And you create one for every single website, or your assistant or whoever you have working for you. Like my kid, I mean, that's, you know, she wants money. This is what she's going to do today, right? Kind of deal. For you guys that know me, I use my kid a lot because, you know, she always wants some money. So let's see what's going on here. Come on. Don't you crash on me. Oh. It's Tuesday. This is why I like doing this on Mondays, because on Tuesdays is update Tuesday. All right, so here we go. So we're gonna do a single property website. This is easy peasy. You'll be done in less than 5 minutes. So create a new site, standalone, create a page. I'm gonna put a header. I always put a header. These are standalone pages, so I want people to make sure that they know it's me, my website, so it has all the legal information, all the legal jargon that they want. Then I'm gonna do a listing right here, drop it in there. And then on the bottom, I am gonna put a legal footer. If I could get down here somewhere. Yep, there it is. And then because there's not a lot of stuff going on about me up here, you could do what they call an agent branding, which is like right here. And if you put that down here, it has like all your info. So you could kind of do that instead of that if you want to. I tend to use this one better. I really don't like that one, but that's an option for you guys, okay? So here's my footer, and that's all I'm gonna do. Now watch this right here. This is my footer information. If your marketing profile is complete, all you have to do is just confirm you don't want to change nothing. I'm gonna hit save and apply. I'm gonna go over here to where it says listing, and I'm gonna look for a listing. And let me see if I'm lucky enough to find one of mine. 171.32. All right, well, I'm not, oh, here it is. I actually found it. Oh, I may have put the right address, right? So here's my listing. It's gonna ask me for which picture I want to be my main header picture. So this is like your branding, right? And let me see if I could pick a good one here. Yeah, I like that one. That's the kitchen. I'm gonna say save and apply. That's their kitchen. It has all my information, the description right from the MLS, a slideshow, all the info of the property, and a nice Google map. It's done. 1, 2, 3. Put a widget, couple widgets, select a listing, bada bing, bada boom. You have a single property website. So when a client asks you, do you offer single property websites? You say, yes, yes, we do. Oh, there's another widget here. All right, space. You could put a header on here. It's only 30 characters long, so it depends on what you want to put on there. So like if you want to put like just listed, you could do that, and it will be like right next to your logo, or just sold, or coming soon, or something like that. You could do that, and then the rest of the information is down here. So it's up to you guys on how you want to use the form, but everything's done for you. It comes right from the MLS. You don't have to do any work. There's no like, they need to pick some pictures and upload some pictures. No, all the pictures that you have on the MLS will be right here. And then, like I said, you get to choose which one you want to be like the focal point. So like if there's you guys are my Cali people, if you guys have a nice ocean view, that might be the focus picture, right? You know, for us here, maybe like in Chicago, if you have a nice condo building overseeing Lake Michigan or something, maybe that's your focal point, right? So pick a focal picture that's gonna drive people like, oh my God, this is a great listing, kind of deal. So this is it, and you save and apply, and then you just publish the page. And let me make sure I know which one this is. All right, so I'm gonna publish my page. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna show you guys a trick though, so you guys can remember your landing pages. So this is my landing page that I created. And if I click on it, it's actually going to take me to the website. So this is a live landing page. This is live right here. Now, the other thing you could add on here that I forgot to add, I'm just thinking about it right now, is on the bottom, we could add that form filler so they could request more information. So you could do that. And if you figure out like you did a mistake or like you want to edit it, just go on the 3 dots here and say edit. And then when you go to edit, I'll add it. I'm going to add that now in there. So I'm going to say the lead form, right? So I'm going to add it right in between that and that. I'm going to say this lead form, I'm going to put it boom right there. And then I could actually change that. So lead form, and I'm going to say, so right, so I changed it. It says, want more information, want a private viewing, let's talk. Fill in your form, right? Simple as that. And the minute I hit publish up here, the minute you hit publish, that page is live now. Now, the difference between this one and the one you put on your website is that this is, only the people with this link could see that landing page, right? So if you don't share the link, nobody sees it except you. But once you start putting in advertisements, you could see that. So now this is a live link. So you'll see like it updated instantly. Here's my listing. Here's all my pictures, right? And then if I go down here, here's my lead form and then my information. So it's updated live. Now, the one thing that I do, and people don't do this all the time, I said that twice, is I changed the URL. And then you can only change the very ending because the beginning is basically saying that it's you. It has your KWUID. But I want to change that to 172.31 hyphen Overhill Avenue. You see how it's changed? That gives it more of a custom feel. So if I send that link to my client and they see that at the end, it makes them feel like, oh, that is a custom page for my listing. And you could do that to every landing page. You could change the URL. All right, guys, what do you guys got? Give me some questions. Give me some ahas. Nothing? Well, you guys are fantastic.
I'll say all of this is incredible. And I am going to have to go back and watch this several times because it is a lot of really good information.
Yeah, and it's kind of a lot to take in at one time, right? So
Yeah,
like try to remember everything, like, oh my gosh, you gotta know. So we'll definitely be able to, you guys could rewatch it. So I'll post them. It should be ready like within 45 minutes of me being done, and then I could distribute it for you guys.
Oh,
and
great, thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. What else, guys? What about you, Diana? What do you got?
I mean, literally, I've got 2 pages of notes, and I was taking pictures and notes at the same time. Now I just can't wait to go back and do it. You know, I just like to, I'm going to write it. I kind of like to have my little cheat sheets, if you will.
Yes.
What to do next. And it was just, what I loved is how quick everything, you know, boom, boom, boom. Once you know what to hit, what to click, where to go, look how quickly that you can create these pages. It's fantastic. I'm very impressed.
And then you can make the website yours, right? So a lot of people are like, oh, these websites are so simple.
Yeah.
But if you kind of go and do a few tweaks, you can make it your own website. You can really change it up. You know, like some of the things that people don't do, like some of the smallest things that I would do is the pictures in the front of your webpage, right? You could change those. You have up to 5 different images, and mine are custom to Chicago, right? You know, Chicago Theater, the bean, you know, the famous bean. You know, it took however many thousands of dollars to make in years. But so we have that, and then I have a little picture of like somebody that let me borrow some pictures of their kids and stuff like I could put on my website. And you could just create these pictures, and then you could just go to everything's so simple. If you go to sites and app settings right here, your whole website's controlled here. Like I could go in here and switch these 5 pictures, you know? And it tells you right to the left of it, the size of the picture. So like you don't even have to guess. 1200 by 1200, right? So it's a square picture, and then you put them up here. You could upload up to 5. If you don't like the Find Your Dream Home slogan, because that's everybody's slogan, put your own in there. I had one agent, it was actually a team here in my office. They put, don't get caught naked without a house or something like that. That's like their slogan. So whatever drives attention, right?
A new one.
And then the URLs, right? So like this tells you exactly your website link. So like if you're ever wondering what's my app link, here it is right here on the URLs. Featured listings. You could put an unlimited amount of listings on here. All right. I haven't reached the limit yet, I should say. I shouldn't say you have an unlimited amount. I haven't reached the limit. So I usually put about 5 or 6 listings on my homepage. The only drawback is that you do have to do this on your own, right? So it doesn't automatically update. The nice thing about it is that sometimes there's a nice listing in my office that I want to feature, and I'll just go to the agent and be like, hey, can I feature your listing on my website? And they're like, oh yeah, go ahead. And I could go and put it in there because it's not restricted to just me. So if there's certain listings, you're like, oh, I would really love for people to see that on my website. Just go borrow it from the listing agent and put it on there, That's what I do. Borrow, steal, whatever you guys want to do. So, and you just select the listing. So there you go. And then the theme, to tell the truth, this is just the color of the KW. It's either the dark blue or the red. I keep mine red. It doesn't even actually change it, to tell the truth. I haven't seen it actually change. So you could change that. And then the site pages, that's where you decide which ones you want to add to your website. And there's like 6 dots. I don't know if you can see it on your screen from mine because they're really light. There's 6 dots to the right of the name. You could
we can see them.
You could click on them, hold them, and then you could decide in what order you want your pages. So whatever order you want them. Maybe you don't want your buyer seller on the top. Maybe you want something else on the top. You could order those pages however you want. So that's your website. That's how you create custom pages and custom landing pages. What else would you like guys to see today?
Hey, Ubaldo, can I see your free home value page?
My value page?
Yeah, for the home value. Okay, so for this, if I want to embed it into an email and send it specifically to a client, can I do that through 123 Forms?
If you want to embed what? This particular site?
Like create like a landing page. So let's say I'm canvassing and a potential client wants to do the CMA, and I don't want to necessarily direct them to my website. I just want to send them the email with the fillable form.
Yeah, in that case, I would do a 123 form, and then when you're in 123 forms, there's actually the link portion, and you could just send that link to them.
Got it. Okay.
And then when they click on that link, it'll go to your 123 forms landing page, and then they'll fill it out, and it goes to your email.
Okay, and it'll go to whatever email
whatever email you created the account with.
Perfect. Got it. Thank you.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Now, I have a question for you, Ty. Why wouldn't you want them to go to your website?
It's just a hypothetical.
Oh, okay.
I have a potential client in my neighborhood, and I was just thinking outside the box.
Yeah. I was just curious because I like to grab ideas from people. As you could see, I like to borrow a lot of stuff. So I was like wondering,
yeah, for sure. I like
what the thought process behind that was.
Gotcha. Yeah, just curiosity.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So 123 Form Builder is awesome. I like it. Like I said, we all have, if you're using your KW email or you use G Suite, you automatically have Google Forms. You can create a form through there too. They're pretty easy to create. I like, I don't know, I just like 123 Form Builder. It's real easy. I think it has a lot more functionality. I could do a lot more stuff with it than I can with Google Forms. So I use that instead. So it's whatever your preference is. You could do the same thing with either one. Okay.
Cool.
All right. So if you guys don't have no questions, we're gonna call it a day. I hope you guys learned a lot today.
Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm gonna post the videos for you guys to see. And then I will also upload to each of the doc sections on each of the Facebook pages, the form, so you guys can get the code for Keller Mortgage. And then if you have any questions, shoot me a text or an email, and I'll be more than happy to get back to you guys. All right?
Thank
Thank you.
you.
This is great. Thank you.
So much, Ubaldo. Thank you. That was awesome.
My pleasure. You guys have a great day. Thank you for coming.
You too. Thank you.
You too. You guys have a good day. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.